Alright, good morning everyone, and in this video I thought I'd do something special. I was going to give a tour and walkthrough of my dad's road bike. He's had this road bike for many years, decades, and it's a steel frame and he's got a carbon wheel set on it, and there's a lot of things to it that are just very special. And yeah, so right now you're seeing the bike in a state of slight disrepair because we don't have any bar wrap on, and we were also midway through changing the shifting from down tube shifters to the indexed shifters. And one of the things you're going to note that's in common with every part on this bike is that it's very Italian, minus the wheel set. But yeah, this frame is a Masi Gran Criterium, and it's a steel frame that my dad would race on. He really loved steel frames a lot, and he got me into steel frames too because he said, they have a life to them that you just don't get with aluminum or carbon fiber. And so he stuck with this for a very long time. And I think it is very beautiful to look at this and to see. One of the things that the steel frame bikes have that things that the others don't is like these lugs that are where they join these tubes together. And so especially with the Italian stuff, like in this case Masi or Campagnololo or De Rosa, you get these very beautiful lug designs, and yeah, it's just gorgeous. Same thing in here, and just the attention to detail with the little branding of Campagnololo in there is really fun. And it's just beautiful. It's art. I think the Italians do a really good job at just taking stuff to the point at which it's not just functional, it's also art. And yeah, so group set is Italian, it's Campagnololo. It's vintage but still very functional and works today. Got your little release for your brakes, and my dad was a huge fan of Campagnolo, so Campagnolo makes like the wheels for Alfa Romeos and stuff like that, so there's his car. But yeah, they also do group sets for bicycles, so we've got the Campagnololo brake calipers front and rear. We've also got Campagnolo, and we've also got the Campagnolo front derailleur in here. This bike is a bit dirty, so I should clean it, as well as the Campagnolo. These are the shift levers that you actually shift to adjust the tension to move the rear derailleur and the front derailleur in and out to put this thing into a different gear. And we've got another Campy rear derailleur, as well as Campy Hubs on these wheels. These are very loud hubs. I always kind of thought of this as something that, like, you're making it known when you're rolling up on someone if you're not pedaling. So that always kind of, I always thought that was pretty interesting. Another thing on this bike I really like is just the fork on the front of this frame. I think it looks awesome, and yeah, and this being a Campagnolo hub, it's extremely free bearings. You can just see how that thing continues to roll with just the slightest bit of play. So these hubs are really great, and the handlebars here are Chinelli, very beautiful design stamped into them. I don't know why I always call this like the gooseneck for the stem on these bars, but yeah, that's what this bike has. And the bearings on this still feel really nice, smooth and clean. These are the Campagnolo record shifters that my dad was looking forward to actually installing at some point, and he was putting them on. These things are very high quality. They've just got a feel to them that it's hard to explain until you feel it. But these things are really nice to hold and to use, and they look beautiful. And this was a while ago, but they literally got the carbon fiber look down on their record line, which is the top of the line for Campagnolo. So, you know, if you're going to spend money on any part of a bike, getting really nice shifters is the way to go, because that's where you're going to be holding this the whole time you're riding the bike, so you might as well have something nice. This is the seat. I don't know if there's anything particularly special about this seat. Oh, it's Italian, but yeah, really nice seat. Campy seat posts, of course. I could barely fit this bike, so my dad would have to sometimes slam this seat, which is the reason why you've got some scratches right here. But yeah, we could get me on this bike even when I was pretty small. My dad really wanted me to feel what it was like to ride this thing. And then in addition to that, we've got, I think, one of the main party pieces that my dad really loved, which is this zip wheel set. I think it's from the early 2000s or late 90s, but this is before carbon fiber wheels were even really a thing. And so, you know, this just made a really big statement that I think my dad loved with these bikes. And like, he would get tons of compliments, you know, even recently on this bike, with like people talking about how awesome these wheels looked. So yeah, zip, speed, weaponry. I always thought that was really fun. And you know, these wheels are, I mean, you can just see how well the hub rolls still. It's Campy Hub. Because the rim is so deep, you need to have these little extension things to actually latch onto the inner tubes inside here. But unfortunately with this one, this rim did break out after, I want to say, a good 15 years of service. My dad and I were riding down Old Tunnel Road in Berkeley when I think he hit a pothole, or he was trying to put on a new tube, and it ended up breaking. So that was unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, Campy Hubs still, like, just the fact that that was enough to get it to move is way better than every other bike that I have. And the other thing we've got here is the Campagnolo bottom bracket, as well as the cranks. Record, of course. These are the highest quality Italian cranks you can get, and they do a really nice job just making it look beautiful. And then, yeah, my dad, he was like a sprinter when he was racing, so he wanted to have the biggest front chainring you can possibly get, as well as the smallest cog in the back, because that's where you really crank up. And I think he used to brag about going drafting semi-trucks on the freeway and stuff at like 60, 65, or 70 miles an hour. So, you know, the way you get up to those speeds is you have a ridiculously huge front chainring. So that he did. And so, yeah, it's really all the parts on this bike are there for a reason, and they're a statement, and it's really cool to get to look at them, to take in. And so, really nice crank sets. You know, Campagnolo chain rings are very expensive, so usually we have to outsource that to some other weird name brands, which, as you can see, was the case with that smaller chain ring. But you know, you get the important bits, you get nice cranks and a bottom bracket and shifters. You can kind of go with a bit cheaper chain rings to save some money here and there. But you know, very, very beautiful. And you know, I also like these little touches that you get with like these clamps from Campy that just hold the brake cable housings on the frame. I've not really seen that design before, but it looks really cool. And yeah, really nice bike. I might clean it up, and I think we'll finish doing this conversion to the shifters at some point. But yeah, this is the bike. The other part here is the quick releases. Campagnolo, of course, very beautiful and functional. And yeah, we've got that on the back as well as the front. Campy quick releases with the Campy Hubs. That was a huge fan of Campagnolo. Yeah, that is his road bike that he loved and used quite a bit. And yeah, we'll have to figure out. This isn't as bad as it looks, I think. Basically what we have to do is just remove the gear cables and then get some new cable housings to move from the shifters up here down into this thing, so that we can then have functioning front and rear derailleurs from these shifters. So that's definitely something that can happen pretty soon, and I also really like this feel on this. But yeah, got a lot of things right with this bike, and yeah, thought it'd be pretty cool to share with you guys and just take a look at all this design and stuff. That always reminded me of the Alfa Romeo logo, the Masi logo. But yeah, really cool stuff. And hope you guys found this interesting, and thank you all for watching.